edge of a pool. So when the color you color in, it's going to resist. It's going to create that the color doesn't bleed through.
Right,
if it's not properly glued all over it, well,
the colour will go underneath.
It will go underneath. But it's not. It wouldn't be too much big of a deal because it's not. You know, it's going to be like a little bit of watercolor effect, so it's not too strong. Not too. The edges don't need to be too neat, but. You know, I'm just going to say. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put water in here. So that will soak into the little elements of the card. And that will mean that when I put the color, it will give you a different effect. It will be more of a dispersing, kind of a burst of color, rather than just colored in a traditional way. So that soaks into the card, into the watercolor card.
This is what I said before about butterflies. There are no rules. You can really have so much fun with colour, whether you're using alcohol pens, whether you're using paints, whether you're using aqua markers or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's up to you how you color. Now, the fact that I'm using black card means also that I don't need to be too careful about where I put the color. Now, if you wanted to use white card, what you can do is just use the same technique and then die cut another one and then glue it exactly on the top, and that will give you a little bit of a cleaner effect as well. Now I'm just gonna go with, I use the lemon zest from the Aqua Flows. Now I'm using the spiced ginger, and then I'm gonna use the red, which is the apple red. So I'm just gonna put a little color in there.
And the Aqua Flows are on the website.
Yep.
They're in stock.
See how we just go in there. Now then, these Aqua Flows are color, but they are matte, so they don't have glitter in there. But you can go get the Aqua Shimmer, which is a transparent glitter brush as well. They are the same thing. So then you can create your own, whether you want to have glitter or color into it, you can choose.
It's a good idea, because then you can actually add glitter to the projects you need it on. You don't necessarily want it on everything, so to have the pen separate is a nice touch, I think. Yeah,
it is. I personally love the ability to choose whether I do put glitter or shimmer into it or not. So now I'm just going to do it like really roughly like so. So you can see how I'm just going to add a little bit of red in there, a little bit of red in there. And then I'm going to use a water brush again to mix it all up. And the reason why I wet it before, it was so the color doesn't completely sink into the paper. That kind of, can you see that it's wet in there, so it kind of bleeds a little bit. Now I can go with the water and mix it all up, blend it together, and create a sort of more subtle effect in there.
Lovely. Love those colour combinations.
It's just so warming, isn't it? It's just like in this time of the year, it's just exactly what we need. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit more warmth, you can go in with another color or so see how I just mixed it up if you wanted to. And I love my Aqua Flows because you can do so many different things with them, and you can blend it all together. And they are such intense concentration of ink that even onto the red, that is a darker color than the spiced ginger, even if I go back with the spiced ginger, you can still see it. The lighter color still comes through, you know, the warming of the color.
Are there lots of colours in the range of the Aqua
They
Flows?
are, there are 14 colors. No, my number says there is 4 sets of 3, so that's 12.
Yeah.
So there is the summer, the kind of wintry, So and then there is the water ones, and then there is the Aqua Shimmer.
So because you can blend them, obviously, although you're getting all those colours, actually getting so many more because you can of course blend them to make them a lot lighter. So
now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my the Aqua Shimmer. And then I just add the glitter, but just where I wanted it. So I just want to have that glistening color coming, transparent.
So the Aqua Shimmer is completely translucent, but what it will give you, look at that. And when that dries, it will dry and it will still be incredibly glittery. Yeah, it's just, and then, so we have got that in there. Now, what the other thing I'm going to do is, well, I would color them as well, but just going to
Oh, I'll just put it in the roll. I'm just going to do my flake and technique, which is just grab something sturdy, like the other Aquaflow, and then just drop a little bit of the color in here, just to add, to break the whiteness of the background.
I like that.
And then just a little bit of the red. And then just a little. So also, when it goes into the butterfly, it just adds a little bit of a spark, of tiny dots of color in there, which are the butterflies. They do have those spots in there, so you could do it a little bit more if you wanted to. So now I'm going to let it dry in here, but you know, now would be also the time to put a butterfly in the top.
Always a nice idea to add a second layer because it creates that dimension.
Yep. You know, one of the things I remember Don Baby long time ago told me is like, you could, if it's symmetrical, you could fold it like this and then put a third one, so that will make it so it stands out. If it's symmetrical, you could do that as well. So it's another idea of having to do.
Good idea.
Also, you have got the body, so if you wanted a body for it, you have got the die in here that you could put it. But I kind of like it like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut the banner die, and I'm going to die cut it out of vellum that I have got here already.
Oh, that's unusual.
I love vellum.
Vellum banner. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Because it's that, you know, the butterflies, the dragonflies, they have got that kind of ethereal quality, and so does the vellum. And I think, you know, have that transparency, that kind of mystical, if in a way. You know, and it's just, I just love it. I love that vellum. So I have got die cut it out here.
It cuts beautifully, and it scores really well too.
You can see every line.
Oh, you've got your sparkling vellum, haven't
yeah,
you?
I have got sparkling vellum, so you can. There you go. So you just fold one in and one out. Look at that. And also, the reason why I thought of using vellum is because vellum is difficult to attach to, because the glue will show a little bit. But because you have got these folds in here, so if I put glue right in here, underneath the fold, and underneath here, then it won't show as much because it will go, it will be a fold, so it's not going to show up as much.
Good idea.
Now I'm going to die cut the sentiment, which is congrats, out of black.
Now in that congrats one, you get the die that says congrats, but you also get the stamp that says congratulations, and as well as that you also get the other sentiment, which is here's to you. So really nice, quite unusual words there. Here's to you is a nice one to have, actually.
Yeah, it is a really.
So that could mean anything, couldn't it? Here's to you.
Here's to you. So many things. So congrats, I have got the die here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach first the congrats to the banner, and then I'm going to attach the banner to the card. Again, put a little bit of glue in the back, remove the excess and spread it out with the back of my hand, glue it together, center it, and remember I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in there and in there. Just remove any excess because we want it. Vellum doesn't like wet glue, so you have to be very, very minimal with it. And then I'm gonna put it, maybe this one there. See that it won't show at all the glue because it's underneath
you've got
the
the creases, you've got the different layers of the vellum.
Yep.
Great.
So then I'm gonna just put the remove the double-sided tape that I put on the edge to put a piece of ribbon. Just any stripy ribbon. I love that black and white look. It's very striking. I don't know. And then I'm just going to put glue on the back of here. And just going to layer it up. Now I'm going to show you one that I color them up as well. Just press down, trim the excess of the ribbon. I always cut a little bit bigger ribbon than I should, and then you can always trim.
Use the card as a template. There we go.
And then just glue the butterfly in here. Now you can color them or leave them those two blank. I would probably color them, and I'll show you how it will look when you color them in. So you have got the choice.
Now, we've only got a couple of minutes left on this, our first live show of the day. We've got some other great shows to come up today, including some embroidery and sewing shows on the way in the next hour between 8 and 9. But there we go, look. There's one that's uncoloured on the smaller butterflies, coloured on the large one. But if you carried it on, that's what it could look like. And I love the congrats, actually, out of vellum. That's really cool. OK, so the banner die and stamp set, you've got choices there, remember, different item numbers, I think. So you've got the congrats with here's to you and congratulations as well. The butterflies, though, the butterfly was the main die that we used in that demonstration. So take a little look at this. You've got 3 sets. The set at the top here has got obviously the actual butterfly bodies, and then beneath it you've then got the big butterfly Mariposa, and also of course the large and the smaller one as well, which we used in the demonstration. So this is another massive saving, £8 off. Percentage wise, that's about 30% off the price. £32.97 down to £24.97. 718271 is that item number there if you'd like that. And all the others, remember, are on the website if you want to take a little look at hochanda.com. The stamps are still there, the wonderful ladies, they're still there. We'll give you details of those. We'll maybe leave you with the details of those as well, because they are incredible value. You get 3 ladies and you get a lady and a gent. So you get 4 sets of stamps, all on foam mounting. Here they come. And they are stunning. For £9.96, you get all that you can see. The top 2 and the bottom 2 images as well. So 3 ladies and then one with the couple there too. And the faces are on the couple, but they're blank faces on the ladies, which you can of course fill in if you want to, and have fun colouring those in. Paola, you're back a bit later?
Yes, I am at 12 and at 4.
Fabulous. I'll see you in the next hour for a new show to me. We're going to be showing you some sewing and embroidery, new techniques as well, with Fengate fabric. So we're looking to see you in a couple of minutes right after this short break. So yes, it is our Cyber 6 with Fenland Textiles coming up next. Then we're sewing with the Gemini, the one-day special. Lizzie will be here at 9. And Be Creative with Cyber 6 Essentials. That's later at 10.
Hi, I'm Sue Wilson. I'm part of the team at Creative Expressions. And while I've been crafting all of my life, for the last 20 years or so, I've been doing card making. Creative Expressions have allowed me to bring you a line of my own dies for paper cutting, embossing folders, and matching stamps. So hopefully you can join me on Hochanda to see some beautiful tips, techniques, some demonstrations, things that you can take into your own card making. Make it so easy. We'll break it down step by step, and you will be amazed at what you can achieve. Join me, Sue Wilson, on Hochanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Gordon.
I'm Justin.
And
together we are Be Creative.
Justin and I formed our company just under 1 year ago to bring you new and exciting products under the Be Creative brand.
We have a fantastic relationship with Hochanda, and we love to share our ideas and creation with you, our viewers.
So why not come be creative with us
here at Hochanda?
Hi, I'm Katrina from Rowing. We're a small family business that design embroidery kits. Embroidery has always been my passion, and I'd love to show you how to do some of the stitches and some of the kits. We're based in Derbyshire, and I'm really inspired by the landscape and flora of Derbyshire, and I think other people will be too. Our kits are really easy, and I hope they inspire you to have a go at stitching. Since we've been on Hochanda, we've had a great time. Everybody's been really friendly and really good. We've met loads of people all around the country who watch Hochanda and find it really inspiring. Don't forget to join me on my Rowing shows on Hochanda.
Hello, good morning. Yes, we're live here at Hochanda on Monday. Hope you're having a good morning so far. And we've done one live show already, and we've got lots to look forward to throughout the day. Angela's my next guest. Morning, Angela.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Bit croaky.
Bit croaky,
but
there's a lot of it going
fine.
around.
Yes, yes.
Now, Angela's here with something I've not heard of before, something that's new, and that's what I love everything about Hochanda, because we bring you new things, new techniques, new styles. Now, you've got the Cantha technique here. Tell us a little bit about Cantha, Angela, because I've not seen it before.
Cantha is a really old technique. It's about 500 years old and it originated in India. And it's such a simple technique because it just uses one stitch,
right,
which is a running stitch, to do all these beautiful patterns and things like that. So just with this one simple stitch, you can do all sorts of images. You can do hairs, which is what, you know, a lot of our kits are. And it just means it's accessible to everybody.
Everyone can do it, even youngsters, and we'll kind of prove that a bit later on. But this one, excitingly, is exclusive to us at Hochanda. I know you were doing on one of the shows at Harrogate, weren't you? I
was at the Knitting and Stitching show for the past 4 days.
And there were lots of people that were interested in this. It was on display, but it wasn't for sale there. But
nope.
It's only for sale here with us. And presumably, because it is that single stitch, it doesn't look as if it would take that long to do, am I right?
It doesn't. I mean, obviously, like anything, it depends how long people have got and how much time they want to give it to. But it's that getting in the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
And it's so portable. You can do this anywhere. And that makes it quick to do as well.
Well, this is brand new today. It's £15.99. You're getting everything that you need to do it, including the thread down here. You've got metallic thread in here as well. You get the needle. You get, obviously, the pattern which you follow as well. And it's £15.99, brand new today. You won't get this anywhere else. 105949 is your item number. If you like the kind of rural look, which is what you've got here, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Put into a frame, but equally, if you didn't want to frame it, if you wanted to use it in other ways, you could do, of course. But it is a brand new kit today and exclusive to us, which is always exciting. Okay, then we go down to another exclusive, which is the table runner. Now, bearing in mind Christmas is, what, just 4 weeks away now?
It is.
This could be done, what, in a few evenings?
In a few evenings, yes. Yeah. I mean, these little stars take probably a couple of hours, something like that.
Right.
So, and what you could do, because you get a fat quarter of fabric to make it up as well, you could actually do 2 stars if you wanted to. But, you know, you could easily complete this within a week. Right,
so plenty of time to have this maybe on the dining table for Christmas Day, or gift it if you're going maybe to a friend's house for Christmas or whatever. Take this as a thank you. And this is a fantastic price. Look at it, £18.99, and you've got all the fabric that you need. Again, the thread is included as well, and it makes this beautiful traditional table runner. I mean, this would look lovely as well on maybe a sideboard.
It would do, yes, yes. And because it's based on this Scandinavian scarf, you actually don't necessarily have to have this at Christmas.
No, that's true. And actually, Scandinavian is a massive trend for Christmas at the moment. Lots of you are loving that in your card making. I know Sarah Davis at Crafters Companion had a whole collection out with Scandinavian. So if that's the theme that you've liked the look of, with that very traditional red and cream, there's the table runner for you, brand new today at £18.99. Now, when we're going to move on to something that's new, this is our children's stitch kits. Now, I cannot believe, first of all, this price. I cannot believe the price, and the fact that you get the embroidery hoop included with it as well. I thought you'd pay that for an embroidery hoop, let alone the kit to do these. You've got a choice of different themes. You've got the dinosaur, the dolphin, the butterfly, the horse, or the other one down the end, which you can't see very well, is the unicorn, which is just there, which is incredibly popular always. Now, You've given these to children of all different ages, haven't you?
We have, yes. Children have stitched these from as young as 5. I was stitching with my niece Poppy a few weeks ago, and we've got some photos of Poppy stitching later. So, you know, a child aged 5 could do this easily with adult supervision. A child maybe age 8 to 10 could do it without an adult with them.
Right.
And then there's plenty of thread in here, so if an older child were to do it, they could put more stitches in, they could put more embellishments in, they could do really what they wanted to.
That's one thing that's worth pointing out. You are very generous with the thread that you give with each of your kits, aren't you?
Yes.
So, and just to show you, this is how it comes. It's a lovely presentation idea. It tells you what's actually inside the bag, and the fact that it's Angela's company, Fenland Textile Studio, and this really, well, I say unusual, it's a traditional stitch, but it's an unusual style, Cantha I've not heard of before, I'm intrigued to find out a bit more about its history. But there's the kit inside it. So if you've got maybe a £10 or £15 budget for someone, then this is great. 11.99. 634395 is that item number. Choose between, and if you want a few, you only pay 1p&p. Now, we've also got our Cyber 6 deals for you as well, so have a little look at these, and then we'll crack on and do some demonstrations for you. The Christmas stocking kit, which again is a practical project that you can do well in time for Christmas. This won't take you a massive amount of time. This is £13.29. This is a Cyber 6 deal, taking £5.70 off the price. So that is going to be a popular one, I'm sure. You can actually use that as a practical stocking. You can put things in it if you want to. Yes. And then we've also got our mini kits as well, the tree and the bird. Usually £15.99, so these are all really affordable. But today, for our Cyber 6 deal, it is £11.19. After the deal ends, it's 6 days of discounts. I think we're on day 4 at the moment. That price will go back up, OK? So there we've got, of course, everything that's in the show. If you have a little look at our website, which is hochanda.com. And we've also got, of course, this, which is a thank you and I love you stitching duo kit. These are really sweet, and when we show you what we've done with these, we've made them into cards, actually, and they look lovely. This is down from £12.99 to just £10.39, and it's 490764. These are all Cyber 6 deals. Yeah, so lots of very special discounts over this 6-day event, and we're here live at just after 8 o'clock with a brand new, a brand new technique to my mind. Tell us again about the history of it. You say it's hundreds of years old.
It's about 500 years old, and it was originated in India, and it was originally a thrift craft. Right. So they would use things like saris to stitch onto, and it was just that very, very simple stitch which can become so addictive. And of course, you know, just that one stitch can make representational images like our hairs, it can make patterns, it can make flowers. So much can be done just with that one stitch.
Well, the most popular item at the moment, which was our first item that we showed you, is the hair. That, remember, you won't find anywhere else except with us at Hochanda. So if you want that hair kit, please give us a call. It's on the screen now. It's £15.99. And you said to me earlier that really anyone can do any of the kits. There's no need to go for, like, the children's kit first. You could go straight in with the hair if you wanted to.
Yes, yeah. What I say to people is go for the one that catches your eye, because that's the one you'll finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not about size at all with your stitches, it's about consistency of stitches. And I'm going to demonstrate 2 ways of doing that running stitch, because a beginner might pull their needle all the way up to the top and go all the way down, and that's absolutely fine. It's a little bit slower, but it's fine. You still get the same results.
OK. So what do we do first? We get what we're demonstrating first of all.
So I have got a children's kit here. OK. And we will have very soon pictures of my niece just to prove that children can do it. But what I wanted to show is that how easily you can transfer the design. OK. Now, what you do have to do is transfer it. I've got a water-soluble pen. You could do it with an ordinary pencil, so just a HB pencil, and everybody's got those at home. And what I'm hoping the camera can pick up on is that because this is white fabric, you can easily see, look, there you go, you can easily see that pattern underneath the fabric. Yeah. So for the children's kits, you don't have to use a light box or anything like that. So with this pen, I'm just going to very, very quickly just draw around the dolphin, and this is something actually that the child could do.
Now, water-soluble pens and things like that you'll find on the website. I know threaders do a variety of those.
Yes, so whatever is about, and you know, I was a trained primary school teacher for many, many years, which is why I've always wanted to do a range of children's kits. And I'm doing this upside down, as you can see, so I'm hoping it's the right way round for the camera.
That's fine. But it's a really good point you made, actually. If children get involved in this at an early age, the chances are they'll go on then to do more sewing techniques, more different skills.
Yes, definitely. And it can just help with concentration and things like that. And, you know, my sons both sewed from the age of 3, actually, I think, as I did it. But these are designed so that if children have an adult that doesn't know how to sew, it's still achievable. Right. Brilliant. So that's why they've got the hoop. OK. So you can see we've got the marked top. I'm going to move the pattern a moment. And this is cotton muslin. And on a lot of my kits, we tack the layers together. But for children's kits, we're just going to use the wooden hoop, because that will help children to hold the kit. So what you want to do when you put it in is try and get this at the top, because then this can be used to hang it up as well. So if you look at some of the kits in front of you...
I mean, this is what I like about the embroidery hoops, is that they actually become frames. If you can take it off and put in a frame if you want to, but I know lots of people, like the Pink Ink ladies, for example, they decorate their embroidery hoops and put them on the wall. They look lovely. Yes,
because this is just wood. It's not finished, though. You could paint it pink, you could put anything you wanted to on it to jazz up your kit. So you don't need anything extra. If you're gifting this to somebody, they don't need anything extra to put it into. It's all in the bag.
Sure, OK.
So I'm just going to very quickly go around this. Obviously, I'm not a child, but the instructions are so clear, even for an adult to do. And, you know, I don't think that if I put that on there, you can see for the children's kits there is a knot at the end of that, and I think the camera can just about pick it up. You can see that little blip on the end of the thread. And I have to turn it around this way. But children, even Poppy, who is 5, is able to hold the hoop and put the needle through it, and all the child has to do is simply follow the lines of stitch. And on the bags there's a colour photograph so children can see what colour there is. And there's enough thread if people wanted to change the threads around. And the dolphin has a turquoise sea. There's nothing wrong with having a turquoise dolphin and a blue sea.
No, absolutely.
So for children, this is what a beginner would do. As I talked about earlier, you might bring your needle all the way to the bottom and then bring your thread all the way to the top like that. And all the way to the bottom, and all the way to the top. And if you keep doing that, that's called a stab stitch, but even a beginner can do that. And that's why it's so perfect.
Right, OK. And that's as difficult as it is?
That's as difficult as it is, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes, yeah. So, as I say, these kits have been out to so many different children, sort of aged 4, 5, right up to about 15.
We've actually got, I think, a picture of, I think it's with you and Poppy, I think?
Yes, it could be.
There we are, look.
There we go.
Doing it together.
She just concentrated so hard. Poppy is 5. So, hello, Poppy. Hello, Daisy. Daisy's her younger sister.
OK, are they watching this morning then, are they?
They should be watching, yes. Good. Poppy should be watching before she goes to school.
You're on telly?
Yeah, but she sat for about 2 hours concentrating. She did remarkably well.
I mean, I know an awful lot of people that have said to me that they're a bit concerned about their kids always being on their tablet or always being on their smartphone and maybe losing traditional skills. This is a great way of getting them back into doing things with their hands, being more practical, being more hands-on. Now, let me just run through the ones that are completed here. You can see that the stitches don't take long to do. So when we were talking about, when Angela was saying earlier on about, you know, you can do a lot of these in an evening or a couple of evenings, you can see that that is a total truth, because these won't take very long at all. You could do that unicorn probably in, I don't know, 40 minutes or something like that.
So, yeah, Poppy did it in, she was 5, so she did it in just over an hour.
Right, wow.
But it was amazing, and, you know, she personalised it. We changed the colours a little bit, but it doesn't matter. There's enough thread to do that.
I love the dolphin. I just love everything about dolphins. And there, the image is unmistakably a dolphin, the water in the turquoise and the dolphin in the blue. But like Angela said, if you wanted to swap that round, you could do. Here you've got your dinosaur as well. So they're really lovely. And I suppose if you wanted to, if you've got fabric paints, you could actually kind of colour them in as well if you wanted to.
You could do, yes. Because, you know, once you've got that stitched outline, as you say, you could do a little bit of finger painting in your outline or something like that, as long as you've got that outline to stitch with.
Now, we've had an email this morning from Elaine, and she bought, I believe, the cushion kit from the last show that Angela did. She loves them, and her daughter pinched them as well and had a go with them.
Did she?
Yeah, absolutely. So a whole family thing going on there, definitely.
Yeah.
And I presume we've got the books in the show today as well, haven't we?
We have, yes.
And these are written by you and illustrated by you?
They are, yes. And we've got some examples of my latest book, the Indian Inspiration book, between us here as well.
Oh, wow.
So you can see some of the projects here are what's in the Indian Inspirations book.
So this is taking the whole technique to a different level of intricacy, really, isn't it?
I did this, and I do a lot of stitching, but in the book I suggest how beginners can achieve this as well.
Superb.
And you can see the camera can pick up the elephant head on the bottom because he's got beads on him. So if people have beads or buttons or things at home, they can use those to embellish their cancer work as well.
Now, if you want these two books, they're only $15.98 for both of them. The latest one is the Indian Inspiration, which is where it all began as well. as we heard earlier on, the history of it. So you've got a lovely book full of not only patterns, but also, of course, lots of ideas. And like that one there, for example, I mean, that looks really quite intricate, but it's the same stitch as Angela's doing here, but slightly smaller.
And in this book as well, I suggest that people can enlarge the patterns if they want to as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So if they bought the book for themselves and they think it is a bit too small, they can enlarge the patterns and use a thicker thread to do it with.
So lots of inspiration in here. If you want like the books, they're £15.98, and that's 338797. You get both of them. So the Fenton Book of Cantha projects and also the latest one, which is the Cantha Book of Indian Inspiration. £15.98 for the two. OK, back to what you're doing with the children's kit.
You can just see, you know, I'm just doing this in and out, so you can see how easy it would be for any child to do it at all. Or actually, if it's, you know, you could be a grown-up, and if you haven't stitched for years and years and years, or actually never picked up a needle, you could have a go at, you know, one of these if the bigger ones worry you.
And isn't it nice to know that you're doing something that's got such a heritage and a history?
Yes.
And a tradition.
Yes.
How did you come to get involved with it? And you say you were a primary school teacher for a number of years.
Yes.
Is that how it all came about?
It is. And I had a mum and a grandma who always knitted and sewed as well, so I was kind of born into knitting and sewing, and I've always done it. But I think teaching is my passion, and I just love to share the skills because it's so relaxing to do, and almost everybody who has done this has given me feedback that it is so relaxing and you don't need a lot of equipment to do it.
No, you don't. No massive expense at all. I mean, the kits themselves are affordable, and that's all you need. You get the thread, you get the needle, and with the children's kits you even get the embroidery hoop, which of course you can use again and again. If you don't want to necessarily use it as a frame, you can frame what you've done afterwards and then keep on using the embroidery hoop.
Yes, you can do, yes. Because, you know, I just wanted to make it, as I said before, so that if you gift it to their grandchild and the mum, the parent doesn't sew, it's still achievable. And that was the most important thing to me that the child could achieve.
I mean, since you've had these available, has there been one that stood out as the most popular out of all the children's themes? Or?
The unicorn.
Unicorn. I
Unicorn,
thought, when I saw a unicorn in there, I thought that's going to be probably the most popular.
Definitely.
There's your dinosaur.
Unicorn.
Alex, my director, thinks the dinosaur. Absolutely. There is your dolphin. Our unicorn is in the lead, evidently. The butterfly. There's your butterfly. Then you've got, there's the unicorn look.
Well, I'll have to see if that's still in the lead by the end of the show.
Absolutely. And there is your horse. Now, if you want to get someone into something like this, then this is a great place to start because this is totally achievable. We did mention before, if you wanted to colour in the images, you could do. But just leave them as they are if you want to keep it totally traditional. You can add little embellishments if you want to.
You could do, yes. And if you just want to flip that one round so people can see the back, you can see round here, the camera can pick it up. I've just done a running stitch to gather it all up. That's all I've done. Is that if you want to use the hoop as a frame, I've just done a running stitch all the way around. You can just see it in the white there. And I've just then pulled it tight and tied the thread. So everything is tucked around the back neatly.
Ready to go onto the wall.
Ready to go onto the wall, exactly.
So the children's kit is just $11.99. It's brand new today. If you've got a budget like of £10 or just over, then this is a great gift to consider giving. And also, you've got, of course, the fact they come in not boxes but bags. So it's a very gorgeous gift to give someone. To give the gift of a traditional hobby like this, I think is absolutely special, very, very special indeed. And then, of course, you can take it on further from there. And then
yes, yeah, definitely. And if I just flip over the instructions, people can see that the children's kits have got full colour stitch diagrams as well. So again, so the child can be independent or a grown-up can see an instruction as well that's really, really clear. And that they're quick as well. So sometimes you don't want to give a child a kit that's going to take hours and hours and hours to do because they will lose interest. So these, you know, are just achievable in an evening.
Absolutely. Just an evening and you've done it. So if you're a little bit impatient, I think a lot of us are, I certainly am. I don't mind doing longer projects, but I like to see results. If I'm doing something for a long time and I don't see a result of my efforts, I do tend to get a bit bored. So this is a great way of getting into something and getting a result very, very quickly. So just choose between the unicorn, the horse, the butterfly, the dolphin and the dinosaur. So here they are finished again. So there is your unicorn. There is your horse, there is your butterfly, there is your dolphin, and there is your Wonderful. Now, the one that is exclusive to us, we're just being past that right now, and again, you were telling me that in Harrogate, lots of people were expressing an interest in this.
Yes, yes.
But it wasn't for sale there, it's only for sale here, so hopefully lots of you that saw it at Harrogate are watching the TV today.
Yeah, and I don't know if the camera can pan round in a moment, because we've got one hanging just behind me, which is quite a sparkly one.
Oh, up on the tree there,
up on the tree. So people saw me stitching that one yesterday. So what we'll do in a minute is the camera will do that, and then I just wanted to show that people can do lots of different things with their stitching.
Well, there it is.
There you go. The camera's picked it up now.
So it's now it's more like a wall mounting now, isn't it, with a rod at the top?
Yes, exactly. So we've got a rod, we've got some lovely silver tassels there, it's got some silver bead fringing on the bottom, and it's got silver ribbon all the way around it, because this is one of the first kits that I've actually put metallic thread in, because it's a snow hare and the metallic thread really glitters in the snow, and I'm going to talk about that metallic thread very soon.
So the technique is just as you showed earlier on, get either a water solid or an air erasable pen or something like that to draw around the pattern,
yes,
which is in the kit. And then where would you start? Would you always start at the bottom or would you start at the top and work down?
I normally start at the top, because I've actually got one of those kits in front of me.
Right.
So the first step, as you say, is to actually, mark your design onto the fabric with whatever marking implement you want to use. And, I've got one here. I've got this exact design that you're holding here, which has been marked onto it again with one of these pens.
Yeah, OK.
And what I would normally do is work from the centre outwards. Because with cantha work, for example, we've got the hair here, and this is quite a faint line, so I don't know if the camera can zoom in on this. But with cantha work, you do the outer line of the image first of all,
right,
and you work inwards.
Okay.
And that's the same with all of the kits and every project in the books, that you have something, you have guidelines, which is safety for people.
And it's lovely to have the metallic thread as well that you can see here, because that gives, as this is the hair in the snow, if I just kind of tilt it in the light in the studio, you'll probably see it gives you that kind of glisten that snow always has. The sun in the sky, a Celtic sun no less as well, which is rather lovely. So you may have got Celtic connections in your family or something that makes it even more appropriate. But then, the metallic thread is being picked up by the light and it glints beautifully. Yeah,
we're so thrilled with that, because we tested our kits with so many different people. We tested with different threads as well. And originally we did it with a white or a grey, then we put the metallic in and it popped. It popped and that was it.
And there's the hair just looking at the snow thinking, oh, pretty. Really cute.
Yep,
and it's exclusive to us. No one else has it. It's a one-off for us here today, and it's new at £15.99. And I think it looks absolutely lovely when it's put in a frame. And frames these days are never more affordable than now. I mean, I was in a high street store the other day and frames were like £3 and £4. It was so crazily affordable.
And it's easy to pop them into as well, like that little frame there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are designed for standardised frames, because I think there's nothing worse than buying a kit if you are on a budget and you have to have a frame made.
That's
so they do fit them, yes. So I'm going to talk about using this metallic thread now. So we're going to switch onto this brand new kit. And what I've got is I've got my lines of snow here. And what this thread is if you can see here, I've got the reel of it. So if you hold it up like that, there you go. What there is there is some metallic thread going through it.
Yeah, you can see it.
Can you see
Great
as
shot.
you turn it? That's a brilliant shot. So I like this because, as the light catches it, it just constantly twinkles and sparkles. So what I recommend is that when people use this, because it comes wrapped on a card, they use a shorter length than normal to stitch with. So I normally say 50 centimetres-ish to stitch with. This possibly is about 30 centimetres or so, because a much shorter length of thread will make those stitches sit down easy and it will stop the thread from twisting.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we get started with the embroidery thread, with the metallic thread, I know we've got someone waiting to have a chat to us on the line, and Sheila's there. Sheila, good morning, welcome to Hochanda.
Good morning, thank you.
Thank you ever so much for calling in today, and tell us your story. You're familiar with this technique, are you?
I am indeed, yeah. I've known Angela for a little while, and she once asked me to try out a tester kit for her, and I was hooked then, and I've done many since then.
So how long have you been doing it? Sorry, did you say?
4 or 5 years, probably.
Right, wow, OK. What would you say to anyone watching who's never done it before?
Well, it's really easy, really simple. And the more you do it, the better your stitching becomes. The more even your stitching becomes. But to start with, it's really, really simple. Anybody can do it. Anyone at all.
And what do you do with your pictures when you've completed them?
Well, I've made them into cushions. I've also got some hangings. I've got one that I think I used as a centre of a quilt. Lots of uses. You can make them for bag fronts, all sorts.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that, bag front.
Yeah, we've done the chicken one as a bag front.
Right.
So it is just so accessible to anybody, and you can make anything with it.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And you can take it anywhere as well. I've even sewn with it on planes. As long as you cut your threads before you go,
right,
so you don't have scissors with you. Needles are okay, and I've done them on flights to Canada and all over.
Well, you obviously love doing it, and for someone watching today who's never done it before, what would you say? Go for any of the kits, or is there one particular one that you thought would be a good one for a beginner?
Well, they're all good. They're all very simple. Don't go for anything that's too intricate to start with. But with some of the simple hairs, or those children's ones that Angela was showing earlier, they're great because it's just an outline. And then once you've learned how to do that, then you can start to fill them in with stitching as well.
Yeah, and once you get started, it then kind of develops into something bigger and better and...
And you're hooked.
Yeah, you're hooked. Well, Sheila, lovely. Thank you for spending time with us this morning and calling through. Lovely to talk to you.
No worries. Okay.
Thanks, Sheila.
Bye.
All the best. Bye. Bye. That's Sheila, who's been doing it for a number of years now, loves it to bits and really rates your kits. If you are thinking of starting off, the kids' kit is superb. It really, really is. What we're going to do is going to recap all the kits that we have in the show and remind you of what's what. Remember the hair one in particular that we're working on at the moment. We're going to show you the embroidery thread, weren't we? We're going to do that just to show you.
Yes,
Should we do that now, quickly, before... Yeah, OK. Let's continue with the embroidery thread. I forgot about that.
So, I mean, it's just super exciting to have this metallic thread in it, 'cause it really does pop. So, as I said, the biggest tip for a beginner is use a shorter piece of thread for this.
Right.
Because, you know, I have seen people stitching with massive big bits of thread, and it doesn't work for this. But it's the same running stitch. So I don't use a hoop for my work. So you can see it's tacked together. And I'm right-handed, so I just gather it up loosely, and then I go down like this. And in the kits, to make this thread easier to see, we've got a chenille needle.
Right.
Which has got a big, big eye on it. And there's actually one here. So if you hold that while I'm stitching and the camera can pick it up,
I can see what you mean.
can see there's a big eye making it easy to stitch this big thread.
Now, with my eyesight, that's a godsend. The bigger the eye, the better.
And it works with this big thread. So I don't want people to look at what I'm doing thinking, oh, it's a big thread. How am I going to do it? Because the needle is in there to make it accessible for you to do.
Excellent. Everything about it is ease of use and quick results as well.
Yeah, definitely. So what people need to make sure of with this thread is that when you're doing your stitches, either one at a time or what I'm doing, which is rocking it. So all I'm doing is I'm pushing my needle to the back, and then I'm sort of scraping it and bringing it up onto the front. And what I say with canvas work is size does not matter. It's consistency. But with this stitch, just to make sure it lies straight, you sometimes have to give it a little tug like that, just to make sure they're all lying straight. And because this is a thicker thread than the hair, so when people buy the kit, this is actually a Perlé 8 thread, and the hair and the sun and the sky, the rest of it is done in a Perlé 12, which is a thinner thread. But it's just so worth it for that sparkle.
So you're doing, what, two piercings at a time, 2 stitches at a time?
I am, yes. Yeah. Beginners might just do one. So, you know, if you are so new to it, you would just pass the needle from side to side like this. And as Sheila said, it is so portable because you can once it's tacked together, you can pop it in the box, the bag, and take it anywhere with you.
Do you do this every evening while you're kind of relaxing at home and that sort of? I'm at a point now in my life where if I'm just sat watching TV, I think I'm wasting time. I like to be doing things and producing things and working on things, like model making or whatever. So picking this up and doing it of an evening.
Yes, yeah. People who saw me at Harrogate will know that I came back from Harrogate stitching in the car with a light on.
Right. Why not?
Because
otherwise
I'm very
it's dead
lucky.
time, isn't it?
I don't get travel sick. I'm really lucky. So Debs, who people see on the stand, she was driving and I was sat stitching.
Why not?
And I was in America a few weeks ago and I again was stitching on the flight.
Right.
Because it's only the scissors you can't take on it. And, you know, it is just the one stitch. So all of this hair was done with just one stitch. And you can see all the different effects. And I am picking up one stitch. So that's one stitch here and I'm coming out. So that's what people would progress to. They would probably, a total beginner would go all the way down, all the way up. And then you might progress to going down and up like that.
Now, when you get to the end of a line, do you just link the two lines together if you're going down, or do you use totally new thread?
If it's a little bit like this, I do a jump stitch. So let's pretend here that I'm going to go to this line here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just take it to the back like that. And we've got 2 layers of cotton muslin. So this is the muslin here. It's easier to see on this children's kit because traditionally cantha work was done on saris, which was very, very soft. And if we look at this piece here, you can see you can get texture by working onto thin layers. So if you look at this one down the bottom, all the running stitches, they start to give, can you see the texture?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's what you get by working onto thin layers.
So that's how you can take this technique and take this this cantha work and develop it into something even more intricate and more impressive.
Yes, yeah, you can do. And people often say, why do you use 2 layers? And it's because if you were using a black thread and you only had 2 layers, you would see your thread under your work when you did things like the jump stitch.
Right.
So this little stitch...
Presumably more advanced images like these that you just pointed out, they'll be in the book. They're featured in the book,
They
aren't
would be, yes, yeah.
Right.
But a beginner could just do the flowers like this. And this is in the project book. I made this one into a key holder. Because everybody who knows me knows I constantly lose my keys.
Ditto.
So this was an effort for me to...
How many times have I been nearly late for work because I couldn't find my key? I tell you what, let's have a little look at our website, hochanda.com, and then we'll go through all the kits that are on the show today. There they all are, from Angela, and the Cantha Christmas stocking kit is there as well. And this can be achieved and can be made well in time for Christmas. So don't think, oh, you know, it's too short a notice now. You can do all of these projects, many of them in an evening, some of them maybe in 2 or 3 evenings. So they're all totally achievable before Christmas. So if you'd love to have a very traditional Christmas stocking kit that you can, of course, put practical gifts in as well, because it is a proper stocking, not just a template. You've got everything in there, including, of course, the pattern and also the threads there as well. But the website's got it all there. But what's on the counter? OK, this is the exciting bit for us, because we've got a brand new exclusive picture that was being kind of promoted a little bit when Angela was in Harrogate. Lots of people wanted to buy it from her there, but it wasn't available. It's only available with us. 20% of the stock has gone, and there is another show scheduled later on, but we know as the morning gradually goes on, we get busier and busier as many people sit and have breakfast and watch us. You've got that Celtic sun, which I think is gorgeous, and then the metallic thread, which is what Angela was using in that last demonstration, is what's used to create that look of the snow. So if I just, again, tilt it under the lights, you can see that strand of metal that's been woven into the thread makes it look like glistening snow. And that's not that it can't be used all year round. Of course it can, absolutely. But certainly, with that glisten, it's kind of created the exact effect that Angela and the team wanted. The hair, beautifully done. The sky in that lovely blue thread. And, of course, you're getting the tree thread and the flower thread there as well. Everything you need inside it. It's a wonderful picture. Where's that going to go? Is that going to go on the sideboard, in the lounge, dining room, kitchen? It will look great everywhere, I'm sure. There's your reel of your metallic thread, and you get all the other colours that you need. That open eye needle that we showed you, there that is as well. And, of course, you've then got your pattern which you can transfer through the fabric using either an air erasable pen or something like that, or an HB pencil, as Angela said, would work just as well. So that's the kit. It comes like this, only $15.99, brand new today and exclusive to us. You won't find it anywhere else. Even if you see Angela out and about, you won't find this. 105,949. Now, we've also got, remember, the table runner. This is beautiful, and it's a Scandinavian-inspired design with the stars. Now, I think this could be all year round. Obviously, you look at it and you think Christmas at the moment because we're thinking that way. But if this was out on someone's dresser, or maybe a chest of drawers in the bedroom with maybe some perfume bottles on top of it, I wouldn't think, oh, that's Christmassy, what's it doing out? It's an all year round piece, this. $18.99. You get all the fabric, that beautiful Scandinavian-inspired red and snowflake fabric. You've got the white fabric, you've got the thread on the bobbin. And again, this could be done well in time for Christmas, and I think will make a fantastic gift for someone if you're going to them for Christmas. $18.99, 790 440 is that kit, brand new today. Then we go on to something else that's new today as well. Our children's kits. These are really lovely, the children's stitch kits, and they appeal to every child of every age, really. Obviously, you'll know the children that you're buying this for, whether adult supervision is appropriate or not. But certainly, as Angela showed with that picture, very young people can enjoy doing this, and it's a really refreshing change to see a traditional craft rather than the electronic phones and tablets being used all the time. Nothing wrong with those, but it's nice to get back to something quite traditional. And they're only $11.99 each, and it comes including the embroidery hoop, which is an amazing deal at £11.99. You choose between the dinosaur, the dolphin, which is my favourite, I think, the butterfly. You've also got, of course, the horse or the unicorn. Those are your choices. We showed you right at the beginning of the show just how easy these are. If you want to take it further and use maybe fabric paint, or you want to embroider it more, or whatever you want to do with it, you can. But obviously, this is the actual project as it stands. $11.99, everything you need inside the, I was going to say box, but it's inside the bag. There we go. 634395. Now, the Christmas stocking, if I just show you that made up, because I think a lot of people would like this. And the good news is you don't have to buy too much to fill it up. So if you're thinking, crikey, if it's a big stocking, how am I going to fill that? And you can personalise it with someone's name on it as well. But this could be filled with maybe smellies or jewellery or sweets or cookies. It could be what Father Christmas gets his snack from on Christmas Eve, couldn't it? Beautifully done. So that is just $13.99. That's one of our Cyber 6. Saves you $5.70. It should be $18.99. But the kit to make that, 30% off, 223684. And we've actually got a couple of these baubles here as well. These are on a Cyber 6 as well, aren't they? We've got a couple of these. Look at these. How adorable are these? So you can have Cantha ornaments for the tree. Beautiful. Now, this is another reduction. You've got everything you need to make both of these, the tree and the bird, for just £11.99. 159095. And then down the end, we've got these cards. Now, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. We've got I love you and thank you, but E-W-E. And you could do them both together if you wanted to and put them on a wall hanging like this. Or what they've done, and what Angela's done, is put them onto some craft card and use them as card toppers, embroidered card toppers. I think that's a lovely way of using them. Thank you. What a wonderful thank you card that would be. And I love you. Well, we're not far away from Valentine's Day in February. You could maybe do that as a project for that occasion. And there's enough in there to do both of them as well. Both cards you can make. The card not included, I don't think. It's basically the fabric, but you choose how to use that fabric. Put it in a frame or indeed put it on a card. 490764. That's another Cyber 6 discount, and that's down to just over £10. Now, the books that we got for you, illustrated and written by Angela. There they are, and the latest one is the Indian Inspirations. And bearing in mind that's where Cantha started, that's the kind of country of origin, it's lovely that you're given the opportunity to do some of those wonderful designs, and we've got them on the throw that's just here in the studio. Just knock my microphone off, hang on a sec. Let me just show you some of the designs just here. Aren't they gorgeous? And these are in the book, aren't they?
They are all in the book, yes.
Look at that fish.
And, you know, that is just rows of running stitch, and that's called a lined running stitch.
Right.
So you stitch one row of running stitches, and then you do another row on top, you do another row on top, and you might do 5 or 6 rows, and then you do the next row you do in the gaps. So think of it like brickwork.
So it's like
and
a
you
checkerboard.
Exactly, and it's the same running stitch that gives you it.
Lovely effect.
Which I think is wonderful.
I think the most spectacular, actually, is the toss-up between that, almost like a spirograph design, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the beautiful tree of life over there. That's beautiful.
And I like the tree of life because, again, your thread is doing all the work for you. So you've got a very thin thread here, and you've got a very thick thread as well. And
you've got some sequins sewn on there
and you've got some sequins to give it a little bit of bling, because, you know, some people love their beads, love their sequins. And I really wanted to show them that you can really personalise every design in the book that you want to.
And the elephant has got wonderful embroidered, well, looks like bangles around his feet there,
yes,
very elaborate. But, of course, the Indian heritage of such a thing, you mentioned saris and decorating saris.
Yes.
They're really fine and intricate, aren't they?
They are, yes, they really are. And of course, you know, with the books, people might have threads at home they can use up as well. So, you know, just like using the saris or whatever people have at home, as long as it's easy to stitch onto, they could do this on what they had at home.
Well, the books are there for $15.98, and remember, if you're a Freedom member, you don't pay the postage. Otherwise, it's $2.95 P&P, and they both are. Okay, so a good read and also beautifully illustrated. And like Angela said before, if you look at the patterns and you're thinking, oh, I wish they were a bit bigger, nothing's stopping you actually sizing these up on a photocopy or something like that. As long as you're using it for your own personal use, it's fine.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Definitely. And you can see I've done this here because this circle design here, if we just move it over, is also this one right down here at the bottom.
Yep.
So it's exactly the same design. That is about A5 size. To give people a rough idea of size, that's about A4 size in terms of the width of it.
So this shows you where you can take your cantha techniques going forward to make them more elaborate, more intricate. Okay, back to our hair.
Yeah, just want to finish off this jump stitch we started to talk about. So we sort of said, you know, if we finished here and we have no more than a centimetre or so, which is about ½ an inch for the inch, you know, people out there, I'm going to take it through the back muslin layer.
Oh, just the back layer?
Just the back one. So, you know, this is why I use 3. So it just goes through the back one like that, and then I'm going to tilt it onto this next line of stitch here. Can you see? So I'm ready to start again. So I've gone from this side, I've taken it underneath, and I did do a tiny little back stitch where I came up and I went down just through that back layer again. And then you come out here, ready to stitch this way.
Right.
So it really does save your thread, because when you're sitting relaxing sewing like this, you want to not do your stops and starts. You want to do as much as you possibly can. And I've had people say to me, you know, they've been stitching and then they've realised 3 hours have passed.
I can imagine. You lose your stuff, don't you?
Yes,
And when you run out of thread, do you just tie a knot in the back and then start?
You do.
Right.
It's, you know, I take it to the back and I either do a knot in my thread, or I take it just into this back layer and do some little back stitches again as well.
It locks it off.
It does do, yes, yes. Because this stuff is quite an open weave, so you need to make sure it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
If your work's going into a frame, you don't have to be as robust, if you like, than if you're going to have a throw or a cushion that might have a bit of movement in it.
Now, although with the kids' kits that we've got here today, the actual embroidery hoop is included in it because it gives you tension. You're not using one, obviously, but if people wanted to, could they on these bigger projects?
They could, yes, yes. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate how you should have it if you are using a hoop. Obviously, this is a small one, and I would normally tack this a lot closer together than this. So I normally say to people 2 fingers.
Right.
Because people can sometimes get a bit worried about doing it 4 centimetres apart or something like that. And I do it in a grid.
Right.
If you were doing it in a hoop for the children's kits, I recommend, just like this dinosaur, it's very taut. So if I hold it like that up to the camera, this bit is very tight, a bit like a drum. However, if you want to do your rocking running stitch, and I'm going to put my needle, bring my needle up to the top on this one. So I'm just going to put it at the top of the work so I don't trap the thread. So I'm going to leave that up there. Obviously, if you were doing a proper hoop, you'd have a bigger one. But what I want to show you is you would have it I'm going to unscrew the screw bit. You would have it loose. So I'm just going to use my fingers. I always say it's like a cat slept on it.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of slightly undulating. And then with this screw, I'm going to tighten it up. Because if it's slightly undulating like this, what it means is you can still get that rocking action. So you can still put your needle down.
And by the way, if you're
buying it up like that,
if you're buying the hair kit and you're thinking, well, I do need an embroidery hoop, I want to have one of those, we've got them on the website. They're not expensive. They're actually incredibly affordable. I always thought embroidery hoops would be quite a lot of money, but they're not. So if you want to have a little look on the website and just put embroidery hoop in the search box, they'll pop up.
And for some people, you know, especially if you're not used to holding work, they can help people, you know, because I hold it in my hand, but, you know, and I would say if you can't get on holding it in your hand, try a hoop. It might work for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it just gives more rigidity to your project,
yes,
obviously.
Yes. So you can see, you know, you're just popping it through, and because it is just this sort of soggy, because I do a lot, I can just do this and just pick up 3 or 4 stitches in a go.
Which means you get it done in, obviously, a lot quicker.
Yes. One of the main reasons I don't use a hoop is that I was a patchwork and quilter first. And, you know, because I do a lot of this on the road, the hoops are just that little bit more cumbersome. Ideally, if you're at home, you can keep it in your sewing bag.
Absolutely, yeah. Just keep it down by your favourite armchair and reach for it every evening.
Yes. So, you know, and with a hoop as well, my biggest tip is to always remove the hoop from your work at the end of your sewing, because what you don't want, if this is on here for months and months and months, because, you know, some people will do this quickly, some people will take it a bit longer, you can stain it.
Ah, OK. So every time you stop, every evening, just take it out.
Take it off like that. And some people will wrap their hoops with fabric as well to provide a little cushion for their work. So, you know, just take it off and wrap it up, and off you go.
It takes seconds to put it back on again, so it's not going to be an inconvenience at all.
No.
Remember, this is the hair one. This is the hair in the snow, the Count the Snow hair kit, which is exclusive to us. Only £15.99 for this kit today, and you get, obviously, the pattern, which you can trace with an air erasable pen, a fabric pen, onto the fabric, and then you get everything else you need. And it's really a very, very quick and gratifying craft to do, because it doesn't take long before it's taking shape, and you can see how the snow's glistening. There's the one that's been made into a wall hanging just up there with a bar across the top. Equally, you could use maybe a twig or a branch or something to hang it on if you wanted to do that, and you've got some little droplets dangling from it as well. Really lovely.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, having a look at that, you could actually find your own twig from the garden and cover it in glitter as well.
Absolutely.
Hang it off, couldn't you?
And although obviously you think of snow as being quite festive, to be honest, as we were saying earlier on, this could be an all-year-round picture. You know, I wouldn't go into someone's house, see that on the wall, thinking, oh, what have you got the Christmas decorations still up for? It's just a winter scene, that's all, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yes. And the same with the Celtic sun. Some people at the show thought it was a moon, and it could be a moon.
Absolutely.
So, you know, some people thought it was the moon gazy hair, and it could be anything at all.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful piece to stitch, and we're just really excited about this one.
Absolutely.
We really are.
And the fact that it's exclusive here, and I know Angela said to me lots of people wanted to buy it at the Harrogate show, but were told, sorry, it's not available outside of Hochanda. They're tuning in today to watch the show, specifically to get that. So if you would like that kit, maybe it's going to be a gift that you want to give on Christmas. I can see, I'm not a sewer as such, but I can see that anyone can get this done well before Christmas. It's not complicated, it's very, very simple. There's no complicated techniques to it, really, at all.
Not at all. It's just this running stitch, and it's just consistency of stitching. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And when I teach this technique, I say, don't look at the person sitting next to you, because I think stitch size is as individual as handwriting.
Yeah.
Because we all hold a needle differently. We like big needles, small needles, and if you can make your stitches ish the same, the ish is so important because we're not robots.
No, exactly.
You know, and it's handmade, and it's just about that. joy of relaxing and switching off and doing something with your hands.
Now remember the books that we've got here, if you want to take this a little bit further, get a kit today to start off with a pattern and all the instructions. But then what you've got here is the Camphor project books and also the Camphor Indian Inspirations book. Both of them are only one price of £15.98, delivered for that price for Freedom members, and then if you're not a Freedom member, it's just £2.95 P&P. But you can, take it to very much more levels of intricacy if you want to. Now, the children's kits as well, they've been brand new today. They're very simple. The kids will love them because they get results from them very, very quickly. And most kids that I know, their attention span probably isn't that great. So it's nice to see that you'll get results pretty quickly with this. The unicorn, I think, is still in the lead. Is that right? Unicorn is still out there in the lead. It's a very popular image, isn't it? And there we go.
You know, this is all my niece did, and I think, I can't remember now what Poppy did, but I think, you know, where you've got the purple and the pink mane, I think she did all pink.
Okay.
And we had an all purple tail. There is enough thread for people to personalise it.
And you can also, of course, colour them in if you wish to as well. If you've got your own thread and you want to take it further to colour the horse in, you can do it, or the unicorn in, you can do that. Or equally, if you wanted to add fabric paints, you could do that as well. I think it looks lovely just as it is. There's the horse. Maybe someone's mad about horses, go horse riding every Saturday or something. That would be a good one to get them interested in it. And maybe as a mum or a grandma or a dad or a grandfather, you've got children and you want them to have skills that they can use in later life. Then this is going to get them interested. When they do works of art like this, that hasn't been that taxing, but has given them great results, they'll be inspired to go on and do more, possibly even, you know, like Angela, making a career out of...
Yes, stitching.
The Camphor, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But any of these patterns, you know, once you've got the pattern, you could, for example, put it onto a child's T-shirt.
Yes.
So, you know, once you've got your pattern, your design, you can put it onto this. And then if you are putting it onto a T-shirt, that's a stretchy material. So people will need to put some sort of iron-on stabiliser behind it. But all of these you could put onto a T-shirt. So I think it would be amazing, you know, if a child did this, then they could stitch that onto their own T-shirt as well.
Definitely. And we've got loads of iron-on stabilisers, that sort of thing on the website, lots of those. If you have a little look at hochanda.com. But that's the one that's in the lead. Everyone loves the unicorn. There's your dinosaur. £11.99 for the kit, very affordable, and it's including, unbelievably, an embroidery hoop as well in that kit. And it comes in a really attractive bag with a picture of what you're going to be creating on the front of it, so everyone can see what they've got.
Yeah, so you could always put more goodies in it as well.
Good idea. Yeah, more sewing goodies.
Yes, yeah. So as we've been talking, I have just been going along, just doing this little area in this metallic thread, and you know, you can just see how quick it's starting to grow.
And the grib work that you talked about earlier on, that just keeps the 3 layers of fabric connected.
Yeah. And you know, the advantage, I guess, of using a hoop is that you don't necessarily have to do your tacking stitches, but your tacking stitches are just very, very thin thread, and it's actually your tacking thread you need to find in all of the kits.
Right.
But everybody has this kind of very thin stuff at home, even if it's, you know, a sewing kit that came out of a cracker last Christmas or something like that.
We've all got those.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Actually, I found quite a few of our cracker things last year in a drawer the other day. But yeah, this is a great kit to go for. It is exclusive to us. It's got the Celtic connection, which I know lots of you will love. It's also got, of course, the snow connection too, and the metallic thread really creates that glisten of the snow and the sunshine. Absolutely beautiful. So today, if you would like this, it's only £15.99. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Angela, if it's all right with you, we'll go up to the counter and just go down all the kits and remind everybody of the item numbers.
Yes, definitely.
Including maybe that Christmas stocking, if you want to do that too. OK, let's have a little look at that to start off with, actually. Let's have a little look at the Christmas stocking. There's the website. There it is. It's hochanda.com. You're looking at all the products that are in the show. Obviously, we've got exclusive ones. The hair in the snow is exclusive, but also we've got these fantastic Cyber 6 deals. Now, these are well worth grabbing because they give you the best value. £5 and a few pence off the price if you want to make this the Christmas stocking that's just here, which I think is lovely. It's adorable.
And of course, with the Christmas stocking, you also get the backing as well, so you can make the backing, because, you know, people who are stitchers know to match up white fabric can be very difficult.
Definitely.
So with the stocking, you have enough fabric for the front of it and the back of it, and all the threads as well.
And that won't take too long to do?
No, you would easily get that done before Christmas.
Brilliant. OK, well, if you order it today, you save £5.70 off the price. It's only £13.29. £13.29 gets you the set, and that's 223684, your item number. And then also we've got these beautiful baubles. Let's just show you these as well. Now, these are really cute, and again, they can be either gifted to someone if you're going there for Christmas, or put them on your own tree. And again, something that's got, you know, centuries of tradition behind it. There's the tree, and there is the bird.
And again, you get the felt, you get the ribbon, and you get the beads as well.
And that's £11.99. £11.99, that's another saving of about nearly £5 off, £4.80 off the price if you'd like to make those. If you want to do very unusual and lovely thank you cards, then these are great. You get enough in the kit to make both of these, although you don't get the card blank. I love the fact it's been mounted onto craft card. Thank you, and I love you. You get both of those for £10.39. There's the template. And, of course, you can use them again and again, the templates.
You can do, yes, yes, definitely. And we've put these onto T-shirts as well. Brilliant.
Well, there they are, £10.39, and you've got the kit to do both, 490764. Now, the kids' kits, let's go back to those. This is the only kit that comes with an embroidery loop in it, and this is the bag that they come in with a picture of the kit on the front. And then you've got all the goodies inside, of course, as well. And like Angela said, you could put other things in there if you wish to. And they are £11.99 each. You just choose whether you want to have the dinosaur, the dolphin, the butterfly, the horse, or the unicorn. A great introduction.
Yes, and I think actually probably choosing is probably the hardest thing about them all.
Yeah, absolutely. Making your mind up which one you want to go for. But the good thing with us is, if you do want to go for more than one kit, you only pay one P&P, or if you're a Freedom member, you don't pay the P&P at all. It's already in your membership cost, which is just £6.97 for a month. 888 your item number there if you want to become a Freedom member. Then we go skipping the table runner just for a second to our exclusive Hair in the Snow kit that's here today. And this is brand new, exclusive, great price. You won't find it anywhere else. It's only £13. Oh no, hang on, that's the stocking. Here it comes. Here comes the Hair in the Snow. It's £15.99 for this kit. All the thread, including the metallic thread to give you the glisten of the snow, which is absolute genius.
Yeah.
It works really well, doesn't it?
As you said, just makes it pop and makes it so special.
Definitely. And then all you've got to do is basically trace that onto the fabric using an air erasable pen, or an HB pencil will do just as well. And that's been the favourite of the hour. Because it is exclusive, there's no surprise there, really, that that's the favourite. But a lovely winter scene, not necessarily Christmas, although it could be interpreted in that way, but that's a picture that could be left up all year round. And you can really see a difference between the metallic thread and the standard thread. You can really see that kind of glisten of the snow. Are you back later on, Angela?
I am. I'm back at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock?
Yes.
OK, I think that's going to be with Hayley. I'll see you at 10 o'clock. We're being creative at 10, so I'll see you then after a spot of breakfast. I'll show you what else is on the way, because we've got a brilliant one-day special that will be with you very, very soon, and Angela's back in a couple of hours.
I am. See you later.
So yes, we're starting with the Gemini one-day special. Lizzie will show you more in a couple of minutes' time. Then I'm back with Be Creative, with Gordon, I believe. And then we have Cyber 6 deals with Fenland Textiles. Angela's back later at 11.
Hi, I'm Leslie from Chocolate Baroque, and we design and manufacture our own rubber stamps right here in the northeast of England. We have a wonderful in-house designer called Sue, who hand draws all the images, which we then transfer into rubber stamps. We have very, very elaborate designs. We have everything from steampunk right through to beautiful florals, and then we have scenic, and we have words. Our stamps are beautifully elaborate, very, very detailed, exquisitely etched, and the quality is next to none. So good that if you look after your stamps, we guarantee them for a lifetime. Whether it's stamping, mixed media, or art journaling, join us at Hochanda for our journey into everything creative and messy, and see what you can create with our stamps.
Hi, I'm Fiona Clayton from Crafters Companion. I've been crafting for about 7 years now, having rediscovered my love of a childhood hobby. I'm delighted that I can share with you all my hints, tips and ideas, and here at Hochanda we're going to make sure that you really enjoy your crafting as well. So join me, Fiona Clayton, here on Hochanda.
Welcome back to Hochanda. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and it's an hour that we dedicate to our current one-day special, and it is a brilliant one-day special. Last night at 6 o'clock, the lovely Lizzie Curtis was here and she was launching this incredible new deal. Custom package put together for us as soft crafters, but if you're into your multimedia as well, then this is perfect for you too. Now we are talking Gemini, so we know we're talking quality, we're talking incredible, innovative ideas which have been put together to create this most incredible die cutting machine, but we've got a brand new bundle for you. We are talking about the threaders version of the Gemini. Now the machine itself doesn't differ in any way, shape or form from the original Gemini, but the bundle that's been put together has been put together with sewers, soft crafters, multimedia crafters as well in mind, and that's the key thing, because we are talking a different style of die, and I'll be chatting to Lizzie in a few moments to explain why we need to have different styles of dies when we're talking fabrics and multimedia. But look at this, it comes in a brand new box. Now instantly you can see from the packaging it's showing us that we have got all those fabulous elements which we'll talk around in just a few moments, but you have got dies that are specifically designed to be working with your fabric. So these are the kind of things you can be able to cut with these multiple layers of fabrics, cork, leather, in multiple layers, some of these as well. And of course you've got the dies. Of course Crafters Companion are going to ensure that we have got dies, and you've got 18 dies. Now those dies that you can see on the packaging there, you are going to get with this machine when you're buying this version at any time. But of course one day specials could be different. We're talking Crafters Companion, of course we want value for money. So we've got a fabulous bundle of additional dies, and I love these dies because these are incredible. We've got layering dies which are so important when you're wanting to do multiple layers. Maybe you're wanting to do things like your English paper piecing, perhaps you want to work with these. Maybe you want to use them for creating plique pieces. There's all sorts of different ways. And of course got the expert Lizzie Curtis with me to chat about that. But before we do that, let's listen to Dave talking you around this fabulous deal.
The Gemini die cutting machine by Crafters Companion is a quilter's and patchworker's dream. The industry-leading high-pressure system delivers fantastic results when cutting through multi-layers of fabric at the push of a button. Its oversized openings and platforms provide for edge-to-edge cutting and can cut fabric up to 8.7 inches by 12.5 inches. The Gemini allows us to cut materials such as cotton, felt, leather, denim, burlap and many more in multiple layers, making preparation for your fabric projects quick and easy. No cranking needed, as the Gemini moves the platforms through automatically and quickly, so you can spend more time on your crafting projects. The Gemini has optical switches, making it hands-free and fully automated, with built-in auto-reverse button for protection. It's easy to use and gives you unparalleled accuracy every time. Whether preparing fabric for use with your sewing machine or using your cutting dies for patchwork projects, the Gemini is the quick and easy solution. No more cutting out shape after shape by hand. Now using your metal dies, cut multi-layers of the same shape design in one pass through the machine. The Gemini is the perfect solution for precision cutting, so all your fabrics are the correct size for your quilting and patchwork projects. Its sleek low-profile design makes it a superb addition to any crafting workspace, and its built-in handholds mean you can easily take it anywhere. All the platforms you need come included in the box. The addition of the metal cutting plate allows you to cut dies accurately with just one pass through the machine and enables you to cut multiple layers of fabric. In the box, you'll receive the machine and all your plates, plus a bonus of 18 Threaders metal dies, so you can craft right out of the box. The Gemini. Powerful, accurate and versatile. Developed by crafters for crafters.
And of course Lizzie's here. Lizzie, it's a brilliant bundle. I love the fact that Crafters Companion have embraced the fact that soft crafters might need something a little bit different.
And you know what? Soft crafting stitches are so important, aren't they? You know, and so many more people are getting on board with stitching. They're realising the creativity that we can get. Now, having the machine with all the correct plates and a whole stack, 31 dies in total of the multimedia dies. These are not your regular thin metal dies.
So
These will cut multiple
important
layers.
that we have different styles of dies?
Well, because we know we want to cut multiple layers of fabric. We want to be able to craft. You know, it's not about the cutting for me. It's the stitching, and I love my stitching. So obviously, if I can cut something in just a few minutes rather than quite a long time with a rotary cutter, then put my name down.
And we saw on that video there about using the hexagons very quickly. You're cutting multiple layers and covering a large area.
Absolutely. So you're thinking about things like a plique, maybe like you say with the English paper piecing, you just cut them a little bit smaller. But so there's so many different ways you can actually apply them as well. So think about your double-sided adhesive sheets, think about wet glue, think about just your stick and spray. There's so many different ways. You've got the paperback glue sheets as well. We all know as stitchers what we can use to apply these things down. Satin stitch over the top, fancy embroidery stitches, hand stitching. You know what? You don't even need a sewing machine. You've got a fantastic tool here. That's going to create your pieces to create your stitching projects with. Hand sew them together. You don't need a sewing machine.
Now, we're talking thick fabrics here. We're talking glitter fabrics as well. And of course, we're looking at those fabulous dies that are included. But we want more with our one-day special. We don't want what you usually get in the box. I want more. Give me more.
Exactly, and that's why we've got the other dies in there as well. So, I mean, those are, I have to say, £56 worth of dies there, Hayley, which means the actual machine works out to be about £124, which is such a great deal for us stitchers, because obviously we're always looking for that affordability, that justification, you know, and that first flexi buy is going to absolutely do that for you.
And for me, storage is quite important because I don't have a dedicated area at the moment. We're talking 31 dies, and you can see what a small area it takes up.
Excuse me, Hayley, that is the bundle of 31 dies.
Now, don't look at this and think, oh gosh, you don't get many dies, because you're getting lots. It's the fact that you can store them in such a unique way.
Exactly, that could go in an envelope in your bookshelf. Don't lose it. But there's 31 dies, so there's not like you've got a whole stack of dies going on here. That is incredible that we've got 31 dies there in such a neat little parcel. And don't forget, of course, ladies and gents, that Gemini will reverse, which means if you're tight on space, and you just touched on that, it means you can put the dies right at the top there, go in about 4 seconds, back 4 seconds, you're done. Good to go.
You could almost have like a little stand that your Gemini sits on top with the dies just underneath quite easily.
Absolutely, because it's rock solid, so it's not going to judder off anything, so a little bench next to you is absolutely perfect. And it is really the way forward. This is the way we're going with our quilting and our stitching now. You know, it's not about the technique of cutting is an art form in its own self, not taking anything away from that. But for me, I want to get to the nitty-gritty, which is the stitching. That's my favourite bit.
I love it. And this is a key thing. What are you going to do with that stitching? How are you going to put those pieces together? We've got some incredible finished samples that we're going to share with you. But while we're having a look at these finished samples, consider the deal that we've got on the screen. We are talking about a brand new configuration of the Gemini put together with soft crafters in mind. So thinking about your fabrics, thinking about your multimedia, but look at the price. You've got a saving, an incredible saving of £55.98. 3 flexi buys. This is interest-free flexi buy payments. 3 of those of £60 each. So if you are considering this perhaps as a Christmas gift to yourself, or perhaps you're going to get your family to club together, then what a brilliant way way, perhaps you've got 3 kids, they could actually take each one of those payments on board and make sure that you're getting something that you really want at Christmas.
Oh, do you know what? That would be absolutely wonderful, wouldn't it?
And it also means that from there on in, whether you're talking about Father's Day, Mother's Day, obviously we have lots of male crafters as well, and birthdays and all those different things, you can ask for dies. So
yes,
it's kind of one of those gifts that makes it easy for you to get additions.
We have a whole stack of things coming up in the future. Ooh. It's kind of in the diary, all the months ahead, of really exciting things that are coming to us stitchers, just us girls and boys, which is really super exciting.
Now talk me around some of the things that we've got here.
So here we go. It's so easy to actually create something beautiful by just cutting a few dies out, you know, one pass through the machine. Now the glitter fabric, you're going to be able to cut at least 5 layers of that straight away, no problem at all. With the actual cotton here, well, I did 12 layers last night, so think about that.
I can't see any stitches.
No, because I glued these on,
And the bag itself, you bought the bag then?
The bag is already pre-made.
Wow.
This is a gift in itself. Think about putting your soaps in there, the makeup, you know, all the special offers that you might have got on Friday for those that you love for Christmas.
Oh, we've got more about special offers as well in a minute.
Yes, you can decorate it. You're making it unique. You know what? If you had a little craft store, you know, you've got to raise funds for the school and the church and all that sort of thing. These are the sort of things that are going to stand out and super quick to do. We've got the cushion here.
I love this. This might be your first attempt at quilting.
Exactly.
And having all the tools to mean that you start off with the right shapes and the right cuts to start with is going to help you.
Do you know what? With quilting, patchwork, it's all about the accuracy.
Yes.
And you know what? We've got absolutely 100% accurate cutting here with the squares and the gorgeous hearts that go right diagonally across the middle of that. Now that probably took me to cut, oh gosh, less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes.
Let me do my maths here. We've got 25 squares on there.
Yeah.
How many layers of fabric can you cut in any one time?
Well, I would do that in 3 passes because I could do 10, 10 and 5.
It'd take me that long to get my quilter rule and my rotary cutter out. Well, to find
Actually,
it, to be honest.
That is absolutely true. And then it's always making sure that you've got the ruler the right way so you can see, you know, it's all of that. But that was probably cut in 5 minutes. It probably took me about maybe an hour to stitch them together. Now, that is a gift. Again, a really super easy gift. You've got the 100% accuracy there, which I love. Now, of course, I've stitched the squares together. I've glued the hearts on. How fab is that? That's not going to get washed for another year or so I'm happy about that. But you could stitch around those hearts, do your blanket stitch, your hand stitch, all of that. So again, we've got the tea cosy down there with the hexagons on as well. How many? Not very many. 6 hexagons right across that tea cosy. In fact, is it 5?
You've only got 5 in there, so it's a one pass, I'm guessing, again.
Glitter fabric, just to give it a va-va-va-voom.
Yeah, I love it.
And fantastic, you've got a project made in no time at all. And that's what it's all about. It's time saving, it's you know, that labour that we... Some things we want to put our time into. Some things perhaps we don't want to.
Love it. There you go. Now, if you fancy getting hold of your one-day special, you're going to be in very good company because it's been incredibly popular. Let me give you those details again. 575248. You've got 3 flexi buys on this if you so choose of £60 each. Means it's a really affordable way for you to get hold of an incredible bundle. So if you're into your paper crafting, if you're into your multimedia, if you're into your sewing, it doesn't matter. This is a perfect machine for you. And of course, the bundle that we've got here with your one-day special is all put together with soft crafters in mind. Now, of course, when we start talking about fabrics, and maybe we're talking about novice sewers, and we're talking about the most economical way of getting hold of different bits and pieces, then perhaps Hochanda is the way to go with your Cyber 6 deals. Now, these are some deals that were started launching last week, and we've got 6 days where we've got some incredible cyber discounts. Now, this is one of them. And these, again, when talking nesting dies, ovals and butterflies here, look at that saving. You have got a half-price deal with this, £27.99 rather than £55.98. But these deals can't run forever. 581965 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Maybe you want to add this next bundle into your basket as well. It's definitely worth considering because you are saving £35 with this one. So, sorry, no, you're not. I've got myself mixed up. You're saving 30%. I need to get me a syringe. 548394 is the item number for you to get hold of these. You're talking about your teddy bears and your cats. These are so cute. And the dies are big enough for you to actually make 3-dimensional elements with these as well. Love them. £24.98, saving £15. Now, with our Cyber 6, you could be saving up to 60% with these deals. So it's definitely worth checking them out. Have a look at them on the website. But, of course, we will entice you with some of those, just like this one here, where you've got your bunny rabbits there, and you've got your little Scotty dogs as well. £24.98, 384-125 being the item number if you fancy getting hold of those as well. Oh, sport for choice in this hour.
Do you know what? It's absolutely fantastic. And we haven't seen those animal dies since I launched them as a one-day special. Oh, so this is the first time they've come back to air. Now, I've just put something in the machine. I'm actually going to just be totally lazy because I can and bring it back.
Well, I noticed you're using a jelly roll, and this is one of the most economical ways of perhaps new soft crafters, but I know lots of experienced sewers as well use jelly rolls as well, because you've got such good value for money with a variety of fabrics.
Absolutely, absolutely you have. So look, I've just put my strip down there. I'm just going to lift it up. Now, I always tape everything down just to make sure nothing wriggles, and it's also a good way to check in if everything has cut through, because you can turn this over. Oh, my goodness me. Now, I don't know how many layers, because I just made the roll up. Yeah, you can, because actually I want to cut again.
Oh, right, OK. So I'm going to lay these down on the mat here so we can see them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and I love jelly rolls because the fabrics just coordinate so perfectly.
Yes, they do.
4, 5, 6. I might be a while. 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 pieces in one pass.
Because I promise I didn't count. I just kind of put this together before the show.
Well, the length of a jelly roll, I would imagine, now I've not done the maths on this specifically, but I would imagine you could cut out maybe 9, maybe 10 of those.
Oh, easily.
So you could be talking quite quickly, cutting out 90 squares.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can you imagine how big a piece that would stitch together when you start putting them together?
And the other thing is, you've got to think about getting, because obviously with the design rolls, you can get so many different colourways, and they all match. That's the great thing. All come from the same place. But of course, you might have a great bucket load of scraps tucked away behind your chair, in the cupboard, wherever you think your other half's not going to see because they don't understand. And this is actually a scrap buster as well. So look,
I was just going to say that if you've got any of those fabric pieces, maybe you've been doing dressmaking, you've got the pieces. You know when you cut an armhole in a pattern?
Yes.
There's a big piece of fabric there that you can't do an awful lot with, but you don't want to throw it away.
Exactly.
This will turn it into a usable piece.
Yes, straight away. And also it means that, look, you can start pattern building. So how long did that take us to do? In fact, we could do the stripes all different ways, couldn't we? So I've now got 18 squares, which will now then create the most beautiful patchwork design, super, super quick, incredibly accurate. Oh, look, I'd need to do one more. But look at that straight away. Bringing them all together, you've got the start of a gorgeous cushion there. I cut these last night. Now, I think there's 12 of these.
OK.
So we can kind of, you know, mix these around.
This could be making a border, it could be making you sashing.
Of course, of course.
Building upon quilts. Maybe you're just, maybe this is the time that you've decided you're going to start quilting.
Yeah.
And you want the tools to mean that you can get hold of. Now, I know we can get our rotary cutters, we can get our quilting rulers.
Absolutely.
But I struggle with those, even in all my time as sewing, because I get white knuckle syndrome. And it's not a medical condition, it's where I use that much pressure with my hand and the rotary cutter.
It's true.
And I have to use so much upper body strength. I have to stand up to start with, and I have to really push down, because that's what I do naturally. And then because you're pushing down with so much force, you can scoot off.
Yes, but also, I don't know about you, Hayley, unless I've got a brand new blade in my rotary cutter, I've got to do it once, and then I've got to catch all the bits all the way along that I missed.
Little tiny threads, don't you have to trim off afterwards?
You know, again, that puts all the fabric out of alignment. It's definitely a skill, and it's something that you need to learn. Actually, you need to learn nothing with this machine. You find your fabric, you choose your dyes, of which you've got 31, then you pop it through the machine, and then let your imagination run riot. Because within, well, I don't know, less than 2 minutes, we've got the starting of a little baby quilt, a table runner, a table mat, the centre front of a cushion, and I've got the fun of actually rearranging, making my own design. I haven't got that worry of cutting myself, because my hand cutting is atrocious.
But the fabric itself, you could be making the fabric into a bag or a makeup bag, maybe. It could be all sorts of different bits and pieces, popping zips in there, all sorts of different
because
things.
Once you've pieced that together, and it's the same with the hexagons as well, once that's all pieced together and stitched, you could just then cut into that. In actual fact, you could get, let's just choose the biggest flower, because you're going to get this as your bonus, and you can just cut straight into the middle, because you're making fabric. fabric.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about the dyes.
Yes.
100% accuracy, no need to panic, it's all done for you. It's fantastic.
And look at these dyes, because you are going to get
pretty.
all of these dyes included. So not only those larger ones, as Lizzie's just said, maybe you're going to be using those as like your pattern pieces. I love the triangles, such a useful piece.
Shall we cut some?
You could be using this for your quilting, you could be using these, perhaps you could be using them for bunting as well.
For sure.
You've got some large pieces in there. And I bet one of these triangles will fit alongside that little square there, so then you can start appliquing and making little houses and all sorts.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Because you're going to be pattern building, and that's what it's all about. It's cutting. Look, you're going to have a box of scraps. I know you're going to have a box of scraps.
Just the one?
Tricky. I actually bought the tweed from Quilting Antics yesterday, and it's like a little offcut. I went into overdrive because, of course, these fabulous dyes that we're getting, they're the multimedia dyes. They're really expensive to produce because they're special for us, which, you know, that's fine. I can handle that. But what it means is that all these dyes here I can use with my scraps. And so, therefore, I'm going to go through my box. I'm going to go through the fabulous bag that I know I'm going to get in the next couple of days, start cutting, start creating, start making something beautiful. And I don't have to worry about a thing because that machine, that little baby there, is going to do it all for me. And trust me, I've been using it now solidly for a year and it's never let me down.
Love it. So what are we going to do with our triangles?
Well, I thought, well, we've got a nice triangle there, and do you know what? I need a heap of fabric.
You've got all sorts in here.
I knew I had some here.
Look.
Isn't that pretty?
Oh, I love this.
So I've got the fishes, I've got the robots, don't really go, and I've got ballerinas, so that's interesting, isn't it? What a lovely mix that is. Now, of course, you can place this. Let's just talk scraps here, because I know that die cutting causes scraps, because you're not going to go right up to the edges with that. Do you know what, Hayley? That is absolutely fine, because you could be well into your creative embroidery, your picture making, all that sort of thing. Maybe you're making jewellery with fabrics, and these scraps will come in handy. One of our fabulous magazines, could be 7, could be 8, had a fantastic scrap busting project, making like rag boxes. And you're winding the you're winding the scraps around by seam binding.
Okay.
Yeah, piping. That's what we'll get there in eventually. And so that's another way. And again, you've only got to go on Tinterweb to find ideas to use your scraps. So nothing is wasted.
Now, I noticed when you put the die in place, you kind of rotated it round rather than because I probably would have just gone to and put the straight edge at the top there. You've kind of done it on an angle. Does it matter, or is that just the way that it's fallen?
No. You know, look, if we're going to be serious quilting, yes, you're going to find the straight of grain of your fabric, because you don't want those little raw edges, you know, the little frayed bits. So, you know, if you want to, of course you're going to line it up properly. But for me, it's quick demo. But also it's about you at home, you're going to look at this piece of fabric and you're going to get the best out of it you possibly can.
And also, this is me, sorry, very selfish, I'm just asking a very selfish crafter person. If I was actually cutting these out, could I put another die in that gap there, or are you best just putting one die through at a time?
I'll tell you what we'll do, Hayley. Let's just, because we know we've cut that. I mean, it's just so easy. So now, look, we can rotate this round. Let's fill the gap in. Now, this is where I need to use my tape. Which
which you would do traditionally anyway, the die cutting machine, papercraft and that kind of thing.
And the other thing to remember, Hayley, is that whatever low-tack tape you use, and I've used lots, it's always going to be super sticky by the time it goes through. So because this is fabric, keep your sticky on the metal, onto the waste, onto the plate, If you put it onto the fabric, it'll be inclined to pull your fabric. So which dies would you like?
Clamshells, because clamshells work with the fish, don't they?
Yes,
and
I'm
going to position that one because I want his little face right in the middle of that clamshell.
You see, that's the great thing, isn't it, about dies, that we can choose exactly where they go because we can see through them. There's no guesswork here. This is, again, 100% accuracy. Do you want any more?
Bubbles? Bubbles, darling. Yes, let's do that.
So again, we're just going to pop these in as and where we can. You at home are going to have such a fab time doing
I love this idea of using all those little tiny bits because, you're the same as me. You don't want to throw any fabric away.
Listen, I've got the biggest scrap box in the world.
This is it.
I'm sure everybody at home
money
has.
for our fabrics, don't we? So you
Yes.
don't want to kind of miss out on using them for all sorts of different
Exactly.
occasions. These are all going through.
And I love it. Now, hear the crackling? That's perfectly fine. We hear that in paper crafting. Same with fabric as well.
And that's a good point because we might have people investing in the Gemini that have never had a die cutting machine before.
Yes.
So what do we kind of need to know as the kind of the very basics?
So you know what? My mum is desperate for a Gemini. Absolutely desperate because she can see the potential. She's a textile artist.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things she could actually use in her textile art. And I'm going to got one lined up for her, so she mustn't panic.
She's not watching you. Spot the surprise now, Lizzie.
The thing is, what I'll say to her is, if you hear crackling, don't worry about it. Try without the metal plate. I tend to use my metal plate quite a bit. Try it without because this machine is so powerful. A, it'll tell you if it's too much. B, it'll also tell you if you need to put that metal sheet in. If it's fibrous fabric you're cutting, like Hessian, definitely needs a metal plate because it needs that metal-to-metal action. It's not necessarily about pressure, Hayley. It's more about getting that metal-to-metal action where, if you imagine it, those two metal things are coming together and the pressure of that is much far greater because the dyes will go into your acrylic plate. That's good pressure, fantastic pressure, but think about it, if you're putting a brick wall there, that dye is going to go straight through, and so it makes it easy again.
Do you know what we've discovered as well? You cut it on the fold.
Oh, yes, we've got goggles.
I love that. But look at this. I don't know if you've got a tape measure handy at all, Lizzie, but this, we're probably talking not far off a yard or heading towards a metre.
That's 17 inches, so that's 17,
So,
well, that's
yeah.
probably 20. That's probably, that's about 30 inches, I don't know what it is in new money. But that's a good 30 inches. So you've made that bunting. Now, that could be in a child's room. Now, look, if you've got, suddenly somebody said to you, oh, yes, we had a gorgeous little baby girl this morning. How wonderful. We're coming home. In fact, we're stopping by yours. It's happened. On the way home, Mummy. And we've got the new baby to show you. And it's like, panic. A, if the baby's early, you're not at all prepared for it. You haven't even got a card. So, look, you could whip up some gorgeous bunting. You know, you can actually customise it to a boy or girl. And immediately you've got... What a wonderful gift to give to somebody. So, OK, how long? 18 seconds, Hayley. We've even got goggles. I mean, how amazing is that?
I think it's brilliant.
And I love it that they all work together. We've got more goggles.
All of these in that short space of time. So you can see how it's going to free up all that time for you to get really creative with your sewing machine, hand sewing. I love it.
And this is definitely the way forward, ladies. And like I said, we've got exciting things on the horizon, especially for us.
And that's a big area on that cutting plate.
Yes.
So we could be talking large dies.
It all could be very interesting. Ooh. But what we need to do is we need you to try it out. We need you to get the machine home. We need you to get those multimedia dies home as well, so you can start playing with them. What can you create? Who are you going to create for? What's the occasion? What's most appropriate? Out of those 31 dies, which one of those dies are you going to use the most? I can guarantee you'll use the lot.
I love it. I love all those different designs, but I love the way that you've got that pristine finish, and that's going to make 100%. It so much easier for you when you start putting those pieces together. Now, of course, I've seen some fabulous finished samples, and it's a brilliant machine for everybody to get involved in, because I know you were working with Abby, that we sometimes see here as well.
Oh, yes.
And you had a whale of a time. Should we have a look at something that you created together?
Yeah, there's a story behind this.
Oh, is there? I think we need to watch that, and then we can learn all about the story. So if you fancy crafting just like Lizzie and Abby, then this is what you need to do. 575248 is your item number. 3 payments of £60 to get hold of yours, but maybe you'll be crafting just like our Lizzie and Abby. They look like they had a whale of a time. I'm a bit suspicious about some of that giggling, though. I want to know what went on there. And now the one-day special, of course, launched at 6 o'clock every evening. It runs for a period of 24 hours, and we've got an incredible deal for you. We know and love that name of Gemini, but we've got a fabulous Gemini machine with a bundle that's been put together with soft crafters in mind. And when we're talking soft craft, we're talking about fabrics, but of course those dies are multimedia dies. You're going to be able to use them in lots of different ways. So the Gemini machine, a brilliant core part of our one-day special. It's going to open up so many different areas for you with your crafting, and it comes with all the plates that you need to get started. Also comes with a fabulous bundle of dies, because we'd expect that. We'd want to be able to get out the box and start crafting with it straight away. And we've got some brilliant dies. We've got hearts. We've got all sorts of wonderful things there. Shall I show you them, actually, because I've got them up on the board here. And these are brilliant. Some very traditional styles you'll notice from these as well. Things like your squares. We saw Lizzie cutting those out a few moments ago. So if you are wanting to do your, almost creating your own little tiny charm packs, really, with those, aren't they? Like a mini charm. You've got your clamshells, very traditional shape with regards to quilting. Then you've got, obviously, your triangles, your hexagons. You've got things like your applique pieces, your flowers, things like your ovals as well. Your ovals can team up with your circles to make googly eyes on projects as well. Little tiny pieces, because the beauty of these dies are that you can cut out the smaller pieces of fabric that you might not have been able to cut out before. Now, of course, we're talking about a heart here, but that could be a petal. You could be making little fabric flowers, maybe making flowers to go on hair slides, to shoes, handbags, accessories, you name it. But you've got all of these dies. Now, these are included as standard with that fabulous machine, but we're talking about a one-day special. We want more. We want value for money, don't we? I know we do. Now, we've already seen this fabulous die, or one of the dies that Lizzie was working with. It's, oh, that way around. I've just said it's upside down. Triangles can go both ways. I was thinking bunting, but there you go. Look at this. You've got all of these different styles in here. You can see we've got 7 different sizes of these triangles, going from the little tiny pieces that could be monster teeth on a project, going right the way through to those larger pieces that could be quilting projects, or perhaps your bunting. But then you've got your nesting flowers. These 2 dies you wouldn't normally get. This is where we've got that incredible deal with our one-day special. These are beautiful. Lovely florals, as you can see here. Your nesting flowers. These would be lovely for you to do your applique work with as well. And have you noticed cutting out felt as well? That's what you can do with these, so that's the key thing. It's a brilliant deal, it really is, and you have been loving it. Now, 575248, that is the item number for you to get hold of yours, and you've got an incredible saving of, where am I? The saving there is £55.98. Now, when your machine comes to you, it comes in a unique box, because this is a bundle that's been put together with, as you've heard the name, threaders. We know quality with regards to our fabrics, but look at some of the things that you can be able to cutting out with these. Lots of fabulous shapes, obviously, as we've seen, but also all those different multi-layers that you can cut out with these as well. You've got the dies included in this as well, but look at the fabrics you're going to be able to cut out. Multiple layers of leather, felt, your cotton fabric. We saw 9 layers of that cotton being cut out, and of course some fabulous designs that you can have loads of fun with these. And of course you're investing in a die cutting machine that is going to enable you to grow with your soft crafts. And of course, we've teased you. I've been trying to get the information out of Lizzie, but she's just not sharing at the moment. We've got lots of fabulous dies coming in the future to work with your Gemini and your soft craft. So now is the time to invest in your die cutting machine, and then you'll be ready for when we start bringing you those fabulous additions. Now, of course, affordability is the key thing. We've got a fabulous saving, but maybe you want to spread that cost. Maybe you'd rather spread it over 3 months. Well, we can help you with that. 3 interest-free payments of £60 each. First one comes out of your account today, along with your post and packing, and then of course you are going to get your Gemini machine on its way to you straight away. Second payments will go out, the next one will go out in December, third one in January, and that's it. Then you are all ready to cut and create whatever it is you want to create, whether you're talking soft crafts, whether you're talking multimedia, so maybe cutting out your chipboard, maybe going down that particular route, because the beauty of the Gemini machine is you've got all of that available to you. Do not miss out on taking advantage of this deal, but don't forget you only have up until 6 o'clock this evening to take advantage of that saving, and you have got the incredible deal with those additional dies aside of that lovely bundle that we're talking about. Look at this. This is a little lampshade that Abby and Lizzie were creating in that video, but there's got so many other things that you could be creating as well. Book covers using the clamshells maybe. I love the way that you've kind of got that circle feature there when you're putting the clamshells together. The hexagons there from the tea cosy. Do love the idea of the little quilted cushion as well, because this is a project that maybe you've got a young crafter that comes to you in the school holidays, maybe somebody who's they come and visit you, but time is of an issue, isn't it? I'm a working parent. I know I don't have the time to sit down and craft with my Phoebe. So when you've got this kind of areas that you can cut back on the time of the preparation, they can help you with the cutting of these. When Phoebe, I mean, now she's 16, so I wouldn't mind her using a rotary cutter and obviously a quilting rule, but when she was 6 or 7 years old, I wouldn't want her anywhere near an open blade. So this is a perfect way that they can literally craft from beginning to end. They can cut out their fabrics, they can put together their own configuration, and then create the most incredible cushion that they could be given as a gift to somebody. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Now, 575248 is the item number if you want to get hold of your deal. But of course, it's a brilliant bundle. You've got the core element there, your Gemini machine. Then, of course, you have got those fabulous dies there as part of your bundle. You can see them just in front of the machine. But the addition of this is you've got those 2 additional dies there, giving you lots of different scope, lots of different ways that you can craft with these, but only because it's part of your one-day special. 6 o'clock this evening, you won't get those additional dies in this bundle. So 575248 is the item number for you to get hold of it now. Now, Lizzie, what would you like to show us next?
Well, what I've already pre-cut and stuck is our faux leather, which is the gorgeous bronzy metallic. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And also the gold glitter fabric, which is just amazing.
Beautiful.
And you really don't need a lot of it. On the back, I've actually put our adhesive sheets already.
So they come lots of thickness with this when we're cutting.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
If you think about it, you think about, you know, you've got a layer equivalent to a copy paper, then you've got a layer adhesive, then you've got the webbing on the back of whatever it is, whether it's the glitter or the faux leather, and then you've got the top coating of the glitter or the faux leather. So you've actually got 4 layers already before on just that one piece.
I just had a flashback of actually cutting out thick. It was actually PVC I was cutting out with a pair of scissors. I ended up with a blister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just between my thumb and my index finger because of the actual pressure I was using. Okay.
I'm just choosing my scissors there, choosing my weapon.
Now, just to let you know, we have got the details of the glitter fabrics on your screen. They are paired up, and we'll show you all of those in a few moments. Just £9.99. Got them all in the front of the Gemini there.
And they really, really lend themselves to a plique and that sort of thing. Well, I'll just cut that in half. So what we've got is we've got 4 layers going on. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to cut through or not. We're going to just try it and see what happens. Well, you know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And at home, you're going to find out what suits whatever fabrics you've got and what layers you need to use. And now, because these are quite fibrous, because you've got all those layers of webbing at the back of each of one of those, I'm going to, and of course the glitter and all of that, I'm going to use my metal sheet again. Now, like I said to you before, you may not always need to use a metal sheet, all right? That's true.
Metal sheets included?
Yes, everything is there that you need. As a stitcher, everything is absolutely there. Now, actually, we've still got some of this left over, so how about if we alternate with the circle and make ourselves a gorgeous little flower as well?
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Yeah, so we've got 2 different sized circles, because actually in the dies that we're getting, there will always be a regular feature. You're getting nesting dies.
Yes.
So you've got the circles, the ovals, the diamonds, the leaf, and something else, which I can't remember. Ovals, hearts, that's the other one. And they all nest together beautifully, which, you know, actually that's great, because first of all, you can make frames if you want to. Secondly, you've got different sizes, like we used them for the bubbles before, didn't we? Which is great fun. So here we go. So I can't remember what I said. How many layers have I got? 4.
I think I've got about 4.
But then with each one of those layers has got 4 layers. Does that make sense?
And this is where I'm intrigued, because the actual die itself isn't as thick as all the fabric, so it's almost a little bit of die cutting magic going on here.
Now, that's a good point, actually, Hayley, because we looked at some. I was going to die cut 5 layers of something last night. Was it felt? I can't remember. But it was about 1/4 of an inch deep, and logic says that's not going to happen because the pressure of the machine goes in. And I always think of these dies as like an infinity pool. You've got to fill them up to the level, and then you're done. You're good to go.
And the difference way that this cuts, if you think about traditional cutting with scissors, you're cutting and you're pushing the scissors through your fabric, so there's an area of movement within those layers, especially the layers that are in the middle or underneath, because you're going to get that natural movage. Movage, is that a word? But then with the die cutting machine, it's pushing down from the top, isn't it? So it's almost like a pastry cutter cutting in, so you know that every single one of those is going to be a perfect cut, and there's not going to be any sliding movement with them.
Oh, talking about sliding movement, I've slid.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I said, you know why? Because I didn't tape it properly, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Actually, that's a good lesson learned, because I've got the sticky on there, which is going to be it's super sticky, so it's going to be a right pain to get off. But also it means that taping those layers down is absolutely crucial. And of course, I didn't follow my own advice.
Right. I did. Just want to get in there.
I did with the circles. Now look here, 4 layers of each one.
Wow.
So I don't know how many layers that ends up being. 16 layers. Oh look, there's one little piece it hasn't cut.
But that was a bit of an experiment, wasn't it?
Yes.
You would know next time not to put through so many. You put one less.
Absolutely. Or all you're going to do is snip, because actually what happens is you get all of these are embossed. Now all of these have a sticky back on them, which is great. It means we can stick them down straight away. Obviously I've got to recut my flower.
Shall I have a go at separating and see what we've got here to start with? So let's go through these and have a look. We've got all those little circles in there, and then obviously we've got a little bit of movement here because of that sticky, but if we pull these out, there we go.
See what we've got.
Not too bad, is it?
There we go. We'll see what
we've got a different look to them. Now, let's have a little look. So, this is nice. We've got that glitter fabric, but it's cut through. You can see here, okay, there has been the movement there, but it has still cut through. And as you said, remedying the using the tape, that is going to mean that that's where you are going to get obviously that lack of movement. You'll stop things moving around with them.
The thing is, you know, you're going to experiment with everything that you've got in your stash. Like all of these can be rectified. Put through 3 layers, not 4. Don't be silly, Lizzie. What did you do 4? But and also, like I say, tape it down. But each one of these has got a sticky back on it, which can be then applied to something, and it's there. It's permanent. So we look at something like this, what we created last night, and all of those layers are stuck on there, which means that instantly you've got something that's giftable. You know, you can put some cookies in there, you can put jewellery in there. You know, everything that we've made has either been stuck down, stitched down. We've got the adhesive sheets as well as to use. So it's entirely up to you. You could use stick and spray as well to actually apply them. You know, it's all about getting all your stuff out, trialling it yourself. You know, start off with 2 or 3 layers if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. The machine is going to take whatever you give it. If it's too much, it'll just kick it out. Or if it's too much, you'll hear it groaning and going through, and it's like, oh, please, 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 why did you do that to me? But it'll either do it or it won't, which means that you're going to get the